Kenny Pickett goes down with a concussion. What was that, like first or second quarter of the game this past Sunday against the Ravens in their 16-14 loss at home. They then turned to back up Mitch Trubisky. That did not work out well. 3 red zone interceptions from Trubisky. If you're the Steelers going forward, what do? Do you make the switch to Rudolph? Do you stick it out with Trubisky another week? Depending on when Pickett comes back, what is your solution at quarterback?
The first thing, I'm gonna keep Trubisky as a starter, right? You're paying him to be a pretty decently paid backup, and he was the starter for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, this was a bad outing. Normally, we don't see that performance from him. That has kind of been out of the norm for this season, and not to mention, he's kind of been just really methodical outside of this last week.
Yeah, he hasn't been terrible.
No, he just, we don't get big shots with him, and the offense seems to be a little bit lackluster. I would just start him. Look, if you're the Steelers at this point, you'd have to scrap this season. You're not going to battle to get into the playoffs. I like it. Chalk it as a win. I like what we saw from Kenny Pickett.
Yeah,
this
100%.
Year.
Well, he might still come back. It's a concussion, so probably 2 games, a
yes,
game or 2.
Yes, but I would roll with Mitch. I wouldn't touch Mason Rudolph. I wouldn't even give him a breath of starting time.
Really?
Yes.
See, I'll play devil's advocate here. What do you think? Start him. Maybe he looks good. Maybe you can get like a 6th or a 7th for him. He looked good this preseason. People were talking about giving up like a 4th round pick for him going into the year.
I mean, if you can,
which I thought was nuts.
If you think that you can
maybe get
something for him,
like a 7th,
maybe. I mean, I don't even know if it's worth it though, because at this point, just roll with what you have. You have Mitch. He's going to be your backup. Yeah, he looked bad. Let him look bad. It's Mitch Trubisky. We kind of expected things to go this way at some point.
Yeah.
So I would just ride it out with Mitch and then wait till Kenny comes back and give him the keys.
That's fair. So the struggling Atlanta Falcons, on to story number 2, struggling Atlanta Falcons have benched quarterback Marcus Mariota in favor of Desmond Ridder, the rookie out of Cincinnati. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit, arms a little bit more impressive. Plus, we don't know really what we have in him, so I think it's interesting. What are your thoughts regarding the change at quarterback in Atlanta?
I think if it works, it's the smartest decision they've made, right?
Yeah,
so
they go, you have your quarterback going forward.
Yes, and you're at least going to see what you have with him now, getting into later season football. The intensity's turned up a little bit.
Right.
You're going to be able to tell if he's a guy or not.
Right, 100%.
And
100%.
I think Mariota, we kind of already know what he is, and we know where his ceiling is. Desmond, we haven't looked into him at all yet. So being able to see him going forward is going to be, I think, the best thing for the Atlanta Falcons, not just for like the week to week coming up, but just for overall outlook for the organization.
I actually liked him a lot coming out of Cincinnati. I thought that it was a quarterback that the Steelers should have looked at. If they didn't, like my take was we probably should have went lineman or like a supplemental piece around the quarterback position, maybe lineman. Like I liked Linderbaum
something to help
a lot. And then maybe go quarterback later. Of course, we all know that we took Kenny Pickett first round instead. But in my mind, I thought we should have went Linderbaum and then a quarterback like Ridder in the 2nd or 3rd round. I think we could have got him probably closer to the 3rd round. I think that would have been an interesting dynamic. So I liked him a lot coming out. I'm excited to watch him.
Yeah, it should be good.
Story number 3 here. The WNBA player Brittany Griner is back from her little extended stay in Russia.
Hiatus.
As she got arrested for smuggling a little dope across the border. Traded her for an arms dealer. So on the bright side, it seems like the Pirates are not the only ones getting fleeced in trades. Them and the U.S. have a lot in common. Look, all I'm saying, probably not a good move. I don't really care to watch the WNBA. Don't really care to discuss it all that much, but it's certainly a noteworthy topic here in the sports world. So what are your thoughts?
I think this might be the first time we've mentioned this league on this show, but a fitting time.
Yeah, probably.
So, look, I don't know. The trade was horrific, and the argument coming from the other side where it's, well, an American's an American. Well, sure, but I mean, she's kind of publicly spoken out about how much she hates the country, and then reluctantly let back in, and seemed like she couldn't wait to get here. So must not hate it as much as she thought she did. But anyway, interesting situation. I don't approve of, maybe not somebody such a high profile as somebody that was plotting and conspiring to kill Americans would be a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's more than a political issue. I think it's more of like a human safety issue.
Yeah,
that was my argument. I'm like,
no matter who makes the call, it's still a horrific call.
Yeah, I don't care who makes the call. It's a bad call, but it is what it is. Story number 4, the Yankees are expected to make a push for Carlos Rodon and Carlos Correa. We'll see. I guarantee they don't land either of them, but who knows? Let me paint you a picture here. The year's 2030, 2035, somewhere around there. The Yankees have a higher payroll than the rest of the league combined. Do they still get bounced in the first round, you think?
Probably.
Yeah, it's the Yankees. So.
The thing is, the home run equation is never going to work. It's never going to be sustainable.
1,000 times.
It's never going to be sustainable. I don't care who you bring in. I don't care how many home runs they hit a year. Like you say, time and time again, home runs do not equal strikeouts.
Or they don't cancel out
strikeouts. Yeah, they don't cancel out strikeouts. Walks. Getting on base, because striking out is not the equivalent to hitting a home run.
I agree. And my argument has always been, that's great to hit a home run. Go look at how many of their home runs were solo shots. A lot of them, because the people in front of the guy who ends up hitting the home run are striking out as opposed to walking. So say those people, I have no idea how many home runs they hit. I don't even feel like looking it up right now. Make it a nice even number. Let's go with 500. Say they hit 500 home runs a season. I don't know if it's right or not. Say, I would imagine 350 of them were solo shots. So of those 350, imagine if of the people how many times did somebody strike out right before them? I will go with 200. I think these are all reasonable numbers. I'll go with 200. Of those 200, if half of them would have walked, if half of them would have walked, that's 100 home runs that now at least double in value. At bare minimum, double in value.
Yeah. Yes. And the fact that you have no ducks on the pond per se. You're not hitting anybody in.
Not hitting anybody in. One singular RBI. One swing of the bat.
There is situational baseball and being able to play small ball, as people call it, and that is the biggest part of the game inside the game, is knowing how to strategically get guys on and move guys around the diamond, getting them into scoring position, onto second and third base, and being able to get them home. It's a strategic part of the game. The Yankees seem like they don't have any of it. If you can make the ball fly out of the yard, welcome to New York. You're a Yankee.
Yep.
It has not. We have not seen success from it. So
I agree. I don't think it works out. But hey, what do I know? I don't know. I've just been right about them for the last 5 years, so we'll see if that keeps going.